Kirk, you so creative. I just can't do anything with that right now. Come to the mic, get back on the action, get information I can garner. You know him. The emphasis is never on himself. Is always lifting others up. A more humble servant you'll never find. How many of you know that's the Mr. Ross? Let's just stand up right now and give Mr. Ross a standing ovation for who he is, what he's doing for us. As perfect peace and forward, playing one time selection. We thank God for you, Mr. Ross, for being perfect and children in our lives.
It's been a glorious evening here, and I know everyone is enjoying themselves. And like all good things, it must come to an end eventually. And so I'm going to try to wrap this up here shortly, and going to the educators said expeditiously. I have a couple, one proclamation and another special award. There was an opportunity for someone from the City Council or City Hall to attend tonight, so I'll take this upon myself to do these duties for a special and dear man. City of Richmond proclamation. Whereas Mr. Linwood D. Ross was born on December 26, 1929 in Jackson Ward, District of Richmond, Virginia. Whereas Mr. Ross retired from the Port of Richmond after 42 years of service as liaison officer. Whereas Mr. Ross has dedicated over 60 years to the Boy Scouts of America, serving as Scout Leader for Troop 478 in Richmond's Jackson Ward area since 1950. Whereas, under the guidance of Mr. Ross, 20 young men have gone on to achieve the Boy Scout highest rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas, Mr. Ross was selected as a distinguished member of the National Hall of Leadership of the Boy Scouts of America in recognition of his extraordinary service to others and the scouting virtues he has modeled and lived by. Whereas, on Friday, March the 18th, 2011, Mr. Ross will be honored with a special dinner ceremony, officially being presented the Boy Scouts 2010 National Hall of Leadership Award. Whereas, and therefore, Dwight C. Jones, Mayor of the City of Richmond, do hereby present this proclamation to Linwood D. Ross. Go to the side a little bit. Everyone's quoting the scriptures. I'll quote a line from one poet. No man is an island unto himself. But tonight, Mr. Ross, you're sitting on that island all by yourself. Yeah. This is a very, very special recognition from the mayor's office in the City Council. Mr. Linwood Dixon Ross. The Honorable Dwight C. Jones, Mayor of Richmond, and the honorable members of the Richmond City Council, the governing body of Richmond, do hereby unite solidarity, common purpose to officially recognize, honor, celebrate Mr. Linwood Dixon Ross, Scoutmaster of the Boy Scouts of America, Heart of Virginia Council, Troop 478, for 60 years of commitment and outstanding service on behalf of our community. Born December 26, 1929, Mr. Ross is a graduate of the Richmond Public Schools, Armstrong High School, class of 1947. In 1950, Mr. Ross began his affiliation with the Boy Scouts of America, Heart of Virginia Council, Troop 478, and since that time has dedicated 60 years to the Boy Scouts of America and to helping our families and children in the Richmond area. Affirming the education is a fundamental element critical to the foundation of a thriving society and serves as a measure of his vulnerability and success. Richmond City Council and Mayor Jones are strong supporters, champions, and advocates of the continued progress, advancement, and achievement of our children, youth, and other proud people that we recognize. Promote, encourage the success of all individuals, organizations, educators, students, parents who are working on behalf of our young people and the community. Working for the Port of Richmond for 42 years, Scoutmaster Ross has spent thousands of nights, weekends, and his vacation dedicated to his scouts. In recognition of his service this year, Scoutmaster Ross was selected to the distinguished and high honor of becoming a member of the National Boy Scouts of America Hall of Leadership. Now, therefore, Mayor Dwight C. Jones and the Richmond City Council so hereby bestow upon Mr. Linwood D. Ross the Distinguished Service Award on Linwood Dixon Ross, Scoutmaster of Troop 478. Yours truly, Councilman Kathy Graziano, Mayor Dwight C. Jones, Councilman the Honorable Bruce Tyler. Mr. Ross. A very prestigious award is the Richmond Distinguished Citizen Award. Again, a very distinguished gentleman. I will close by drawing your attention to my left, your right. Leadership can depend on this man, Linwood Ross. It has 60 years, and it will continue to do so. But God willing, he will keep serving until there is no need for his service.
Tommy, would you come back for a moment? At this time, for the presentation, we will have Mr. Bradford M. Nasham, the Scout Executive, Heart of Virginia Council, who will offer the presentation to Mr. Ross. Let's greet him, please.
Thank you, Rodney. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Friends of Linwood Ross, friends of Scouting, it's a distinct honor for me to participate in this special event and to be with each of you tonight. It is also my privilege to serve as the Scouting Executive for the Heart of Virginia Council of the Boy Scouts of America. In this role, I work with and support some 6,000 adult volunteers who in turn work with and support nearly 15,000 Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, adventurers, and explorers in our 24-county and 4-city footprint of Central Virginia. I will now ask another great scouting volunteer to join me here. He's the president of the Heart of Virginia Council, Mr. William H. Talley IV. Mr. Talley is a long-standing member of our council's executive board. He's president of a family insurance and financial services firm in Petersburg, and he's in his second year as our council's president, which makes him my boss. On behalf of the executive boards of the National Council and the Heart of Virginia Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I now declare that this National Court of Honor be convened for the purpose of presenting the National Hall of Leadership Award to Mr. Linwood Dixon Ross of Richmond, Virginia. During the 100th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America last year, the National Hall of Leadership was developed to recognize outstanding leadership by a scout or a registered adult leader who made a significant difference in the life of another through the extraordinary service they have given and the scouting virtues that they have modeled. Over 7,000 nominations of scouters with outstanding stories to tell were received, with one honoree being selected from each of the 298 local councils that make up the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America. These honorees represent all of the nominees from their own councils and the gift of leadership given by the scouts and scouters of those councils to the communities in which they serve. Our country will never outgrow the need for thoughtful leadership and will never outgrow the need for individuals who choose to live their lives by the Scout Oath and Law and who will teach others to do the same. You have heard the specifics that were included in Mr. Ross's nomination. we would ask that Mr. Linwood D. Ross present himself to the front of the room. Bill, would you want to escort Mr. Ross forward, please?